Pacific, live on Patreon as we're breaking down our next 4 teams during the draft. We're going to do our mock draft here next week before the draft in Kansas City. And can't wait to see that. You got to come check it out. Go watch it. Join Patreon. Become a member today if you're not one. It's always. There we go. Clap it up. Darren Gordon-Hill became a member. Shit. Darren Gordon-Hill talking shit and he became a member. Gotta respect it. Even though you gotta respect it. Zach Smith's coming in and showing the show. I appreciate all you guys pounding that like button, subscribe. Zach, what up?
What up, man?
Hey, man, you got to respect the guy that comes in the show talking shit. I cuss him out, and then he becomes a member.
You have to.
I mean, I know you deal with that every day.
Oh, every day. You know,
hey,
yeah, it's getting there.
Really?
Yeah, I got a little.
So who is it? All right, who's the girl?
I don't know. It's just some random cheerleader. And then you got Tom Hermann right there in a dunce cap with the horns down. You got Brett McMurphy up there. A newspaper article saying Ohio State coach fired for taking dick pics at the White House.
Oh, that's classic. I can't wait to see that. So you're going to have an extra wide camera on that?
Yeah. Once she's done, she's still got a bunch of like detail work to do. Once she does, I'm going to have a wide shot where you can see it, then a tight shot like this, and just trying to level up.
The second camera put on my thing. I get to come this side now.
Oh yeah, look at you.
Yeah. So I got the board switcher. You know what I mean? I could do.
Yeah.
But I wish I had a motherfucker doing it.
Yeah, that's the key. I'm looking for one. But football season, I'm going to have somebody that just comes in like 2 hours a day and runs the shit.
Hey, one of my friends was over at the house. We just chilled yesterday, watched some of these basketball games in XFL and USFL, getting harder and harder to watch with the bad quarterback play. But anyway, I was telling him we were talking about you and the Tom Herman stuff, and I said, Zach's told Tom Herman stories on my show. He was like, man, I got to hear one of these shows. He goes, watches your show now. But I need the best Tom Herman story that you can tell.
Oh, I'll tell any fucking story. I don't care. I mean, the wildest story that I can think of was Tom and I went recruiting, all the time. He's the quarterback coach and the coordinator. I'm the receiver coach. So anytime we needed to go see a quarterback in my area or one of the big time receivers, like the coordinator will come to kind of, make him feel important, whatever. So we went all over the place in South Florida, Vegas, Dallas, and just a bunch of fucking just degenerate shit, once we were done working. But in Dallas, the wildest thing, I've never seen anything like it. Like I've seen everything. Like I've seen coaches that have side chicks in different cities. I've seen coaches. I've been to strip clubs. I've seen coaches fuck strippers, like a bunch of shit that I'm like, damn. I mean, it's kind of degenerate, but it's not that surprising, right?
Hey, hold on, Zach. Before you go on, though, I was explaining this. I had 3 buddies of mine that coached at the house, and we were like, listen, no matter what happens, if I fired Zach as the head coach, and I'm the head coach, and Zach's my coordinator, and I fire him, guess what? He may not ever like me the same, but we're still cordial, and I would never tell on Zach. Like, I'm never going to say what I saw Zach do.
No,
Until
never.
you cross that line, Zach, please explain. It's all game now. I'm telling everything about Herman's bitch ass.
Yeah, I mean, it was real simple for me. Like, we had a falling out, and I never knew why, and I didn't really care. Like, I didn't need him to be a friend. Like, it wasn't that big a deal. But then when I was getting divorced, and, they do discovery, which means, like, you got to turn in all your shit, all your bank accounts, everything. I see these large lump sums getting deposited in my ex-wife's account, and I'm like, what the fuck? Well, come to find out, Tom Herman and his wife were giving her money to try to get custody of my kids. And then he's the one that set her up with Brett McMurphy's bitch ass, who's on my fucking wall, to write all these articles that eventually got me fired. So that's when you cross that line, it's like, bitch, fuck you. I'll tell everything on your bitch ass.
No doubt.
From fucking boosters' wives at Houston to cheating on his wife with Kendra Scott at Texas, like all the shit. I'll fucking tell everybody. But the wildest shit was we go to Dallas and Tom recruits Texas. Like that's his area. So he goes to Dallas all the time. And it's a ring of them, like him and his best friends that are in coaching, like a coach at Kansas, a coach at UNLV, like all over the place. It's like his tight circle. Well, they have a friend of theirs who's like a DFO at I think he was at SMU at the time, was at Oklahoma. Well, he went to college with a girl who's a flight attendant. And so they got this shit down pat now. But when I go, where all the coaches fly in the same week, they're all going to recruit Dallas. And guess who else flies in that week? That flight attendant and 4 of her friends. And it's just fucking on orgy style, like just crazy shit. Like they brought in flight attendants for their week in Dallas and just fucking went to town. And
on the plane or off?
Huh?
On the plane or off?
Well, probably on the plane too. I mean, what I saw was off the plane, but I had her. One of my first shows, I had the flight attendant that fucked Tom that one night. I had her come on my show. She said he was funny and everything, but the sex was awful.
Did he say on your show?
She did.
Really? Fuck, I gotta go watch that one. Make sure you guys subscribe to Minutes to Sports. Man, I got this fucking let me find this thing right here. Where is it? Have you seen this fucking picture of Jimbo Fisher with his kids after the spring game?
No.
God damn it, I just had it. Let me see. I got to show you this thing if I can find it. Basically, he's with 2 players that he gave spring game awards to. It's unbelievable. I don't know where it is. God damn it. I hate doing this shit by myself because I usually have it ready to go and I didn't have it. I don't know. I'm gonna find it. Yeah, he's with 2 guys and basically holding up little placards or trophies or some shit. I don't know what it was, but I'm just
like, they gave out spring game awards.
They gave out spring game awards, dog. It blew my mind. I'm trying to figure where the fuck is this thing at. Hold on, let me fucking save it. I got it right here. Let me ask you this though, while I'm doing this. Please explain to me the difference between the Midwest and the West Coast when it comes to support for spring games. I don't know if you got to see it. I saw this USC guy tweeted out that USC made new stands. They put in new seating, and this guy is up against the wall in the Coliseum, and he cannot see from the 50 to his left. He can only see from the 50 to his right, and he's sitting there like, this is what they sold us. This is their sales pitch on us to get new seating in the SC in the Coliseum. He goes, this is a fucking joke. Dog, how many was at Ohio State over the weekend?
I didn't see the attendance record. Let me look it up. I know they were pushing because Ohio State holds the national record for a spring game. They had over 100,000 in 2016, so the year after, Ezekiel Elliott and everyone left, and they were pushing for that, and they didn't even get fucking close. But let's see, they had 75,000. So that's
75,000. I mean,
still great turnout.
How fuck? I mean, imagine that shit. Like, how the fuck do you have 75,000 at a spring game? SC. It looked like I don't know what they had. I'm curious if you pull it up, let me know. But it looked like they had 100 people there.
Oh, I bet.
Like,
I don't know what it is. I mean, I do know that that a big reason in Columbus is there ain't shit else. I mean, there's no pro sports, there's nothing, and so you have a city of 2 million people. Ohio State just is king in this city and really the state. So people they love Ohio State football. I mean, it could be anything. I mean, if they could throw a fucking a bonfire and you'd have 100,000 people show up. They didn't even have to play football. Just the fact that Ryan Day and his team are going to be there is people go nuts over it.
Hey, so tell me, what's the big difference though from the West Coast to the Midwest? Because I've been telling people for a long time, nobody cares out here. You had to come out here and recruit like Chris Olave or somebody like that. You'd come out here for the special kid. But besides that, you knew that West Coast don't give a shit. I have my own thoughts on it, and I just want to know, you recruit the nation. Why is there such a buy-in in the Midwest compared to the West Coast? And then I'll tell you what I think.
I think, well, I just saw that USC had 33,000 was their total.
I bet you that's a lie.
Oh, I bet it's a lie too. I think it's the people in the Midwest don't have anything else. I mean, you go out to California, these people are into all kinds of shit. In the Midwest, it's like, what are you into? I don't know. It's fucking cold, miserable. Like it's right now rainy and 45. Like, what do you want to do? I want to sit on my couch and just watch Ohio State football. I don't want to do anything else. I never forget. I think I was in Scottsdale and I was hitting on some waitress and we're talking and you know, she's not some young ass. I mean, she was like 28. Like, she's not like she was 18 or 19 and naive. And she's like, what do you do? I was like, I coach football. She was like, where at? I was like, Ohio State. And she was like, whoa, that's crazy. So like, is that your full-time job or do you have like a real job? And I was like, what? Like,
they don't get it.
Like, they're just fucking clueless, most people. Like, and I'm like, I can't imagine speaking to any human being in the state of Ohio and having that conversation ever. Like, no one, whatever. Most of them would just suck your dick the minute they found out it was true.
Hey, yeah, in the Midwest, no doubt about it. You know what? I stopped telling people what I did. You know why? Because that's the response.
Right.
That is exactly the response. They don't know. They don't give a fuck either. And out here, you got the Lakers, the Dodgers, you got the Rams. I mean, there's too much to do. And then you want to go, you could go snowboarding or you go to surfing and the beach. I mean, there's just too much to do out here. And no offense to the Midwest. I love the Midwest and what it stands for. But it's like, hey, like you said, fuck, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the corner store or we're going to go to Ohio State spring game?
Right. Bro, I'm talking about 1 mile away from this studio. We have a whole big-ass field of cement corn. It's supposed to be art. Like, that's the type of shit we do here. We fucking make cement, like 8-foot-tall cement corns and put them in a field because we think that shit's cool.
Wait, what? Cement?
Cement corn. Like I'm talking about, you know, you have some people have statues of like Martin Luther King or fucking Abraham Lincoln. We got fucking ears of corn. If you Google it, Dublin, Ohio, corn, it'll pop up. Like we it's fucking ridiculous.
And you can't eat.
No, you can't eat. No, for no fucking reason.
Man. All right, I want to show you this shit though. This is the new, mediocrity is the new excellence, Zach. I say that every day. Here's what you got. This was after the game yesterday. They give out awards for the spring game, offensive, defensive player of the game. I don't know what A&M had at the game, but
you think they get rings? Spring game champion?
Fuck, dude. So I watched a few spring games, just glimpses of them.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like it's deteriorating in front of our very eyes. The actual game itself is for what? What are we playing for? I didn't see one tackle at SC.
No.
How about Ohio State?
They did. They tackled a little bit. Ohio State's was probably one of the better ones I saw this weekend. And I didn't watch all of them. I'm going to watch at least 2 more before my show today. But the wildest shit I saw, JB, I've never seen this, never heard of this. I cut on Michigan State spring game, which was Saturday, a little bit later, like evening-ish. And they were doing fucking drills. It was a practice. I saw one-on-one pass rush. I saw wide receiver corner one-on-one, like one-on-ones versus DBs. I'm like, this isn't a game. This is practice.
So like JUCO shit.
Yeah, like I was shocked. Like, one, like, why? This is supposed to be a game, your spring game. And 2, like, do you really want to put the players out there like that? Like, one-on-one pass rush is really fucking hard for a tackle. Like, you want to expose that poor kid in front of a crowd? And
I'm fucking filming it if I'm at Michigan.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to see this motherfucker. Look at this motherfucker. He's giving away the inside. He's overextended. He's fucking. I'm talking about shit. I want to break down everybody I see. If I'm watching that on TV, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, wild.
SC was horrible. I don't even know what to say about their ass. They look bad. But I got to ask you. I want to get into a little Texas football.
Oh yeah, you want to talk about looking bad?
Really?
Arch Manning was fucking awful.
Good. Let's break him down. So here he is on a hitch ball, throws it to the dirt.
That's one of his better throws.
I mean, this kid looks like a head with his chicken with his head cut off. God damn. This is the guy that there's no way he starts over Ewers, right?
Fucking no chance.
And is this guy a straight up marketing ploy? Because I'm saying we all argued, we thought he didn't play anybody in high school. We all argued that, we didn't know who he was going to play, how he was going to transition. We argued all that shit. We've said, yeah, we've seen guys like Eddie George play against nobodies in high school and dominate and all that. And I go, yeah. But running back and quarterback's a big difference.
I'm telling you, it's not hard to figure out. Like when you look at recruiting, if you just look at like who's dominant in a certain position group or side of the ball, and you see who are they recruiting, that tells you everything you need to know. And for this kid, Arch Manning, I know he has a last name, all the fucking accolades, was the number one player in the history of football for a while there. But Nick Saban and Ryan Day didn't recruit him. Like, what does that tell you? It's not that he told him no. Like, Ryan Day never tried to recruit him, ever. Well, if he's this fucking good, how would Ryan Day not fucking recruit him? Not at least try, right? I always tell people, same as a defensive player that didn't get offered by Georgia. You don't think Kirby Smart wants the best defensive end in the country? Like, of course he's going to try. And if he doesn't, that's just a red flag.
Oh, that was fucking awful.
His kid's not any good.
Holy shit.
Like, he's not even like raw. No. He's just not a good quarterback.
Damn, I didn't know. I've never seen him like that. I'm glad I got to see him against some talent. So let me ask you, what is Sark thinking with this? I'm going to call it a hire now. This is what we're going to call it, right? We're going to call it a hire. What was he thinking with this hire? Because I don't see.
I mean, a lot of people wanted the kid. So, I mean, I get it. Like, he played against shitty competition, but same school as Eli. Like, so it's not like that's the end all be all. And it just was a complete unknown. And the problem was this kid had such a celebrity that you didn't get a chance to have, like, he didn't go to the Elite 11. You didn't get to have him come to camp and throw. Like, none of that shit was possible because this kid was a massive superstar. And that fucks him. I used to tell kids all the time. There was one kid I took out of Cleveland, a white receiver who I didn't think was very good, but he had like Michigan State, Kentucky. He had a bunch of offers where it was like, man, maybe we need to take a better look. I tried to get him to come to camp 50 times because I told him on film, I think you're a good player. I don't know. I think you might be great. I don't know. I want to work with you to kind of identify that. Kid refused, would never come. Well, Urban ended up offering the kid. We got him, and guess what? The kid fucking stunk. It was awful. And after 2 years, I sat down with him and I said, don't you wish you would have come to camp like I asked? We could have avoided all this shit because the kid was miserable, getting dog cussed every day, like was terrible, self-esteem, through the basement. Like, should have just come to camp, dog. You could have been at Michigan State, living your best life. But these fucking kids, they get their celebrity gets so big or their head ego gets so big that it's like they don't go through the eval process, and then they end up going to a spring game in Austin and looking like fucking dog water.
I just changed my dog water, by the way, and it's funny you said that because it's horrible when it's bad.
Isn't it horrible?
Oh, it's like hammered dog shit. It's hammered dog shit. That's like the two worst things. I want to show you this.
What you know about putting up in many trouble. Hey, fall in love. All of my on go. Okay. None of my okay. All of my smoke. All of my
Zach, I want to just rewind it a little bit. I want you to look at the guy in the white jersey. I want you to see the guy. I want to show you everybody sitting there. Does something stand out that's really alarming to you, or is it just me? Am I tripping? Do those bodies look absolutely horrible?
Horrible.
I mean, I haven't seen a muscle. I haven't seen one fucking muscle.
I hope it's the scout team.
I don't get it, but I've been watching some of their guys, and I'm like, I don't see anybody. And I'm not trying to pick on just Colorado here. I've been watching football around the country on spring and seeing their bodies. What in the hell is happening to these cats? Like, is it because of the transfer portal and the inability to stay in one? I don't know, Zach. Here's what I am. You could disagree. I want to get your take. I've been saying that it's impossible to create a culture now in college football when you have a new group of 30 every spring and you have to reintroduce your culture to them. They have to learn your new system, ideologies, philosophies, weight room structure, how we lift, what is our process. Like tackling, why we have so many injuries, Zach, I think is because Ryan Day's school of tackling is different than Nick Saban's. And if you leave Alabama and go to LSU, it's different from Saban to Kelly. And then if you leave LSU and go to Oregon, it's different between, and it's like, Nobody's talking about this. Do I have any validity at all in saying that, or do you think that's bullshit?
I think there's absolutely some validity in that. And I think what you see is, the Ohio States, Bama's, Georgia's, those schools, they're going to operate how they've always operated. And those kids, it's because they have such a strong culture. That's just what they do. And honestly, the kids, they love it. Like, they love the grind. They love the process because they know 10 people that they used to be teammates with making millions of dollars right now. But you go to a school like Auburn, which has a shitty culture, and it's like, how do you change the culture? I know how to change a culture. I've been a part of it twice at Florida and Ohio State. And you got to fucking implode it. And you have to beat these kids into submission and then build them back up. You can't do that shit now because they're all going to fucking leave. All of them. And so it's like, yeah, it's great if you have a great culture. Now these kids are just making some money. They're still grinding. They're still working. But a place like Colorado, those fucking kids aren't going to stick around. So I think you're definitely on point. But I think what's crazy is it's just this increasing parity in college football, right? It's just making the big time schools even more elite because the shitty ones can't do it the right way to try to rebuild it and build a program back.
Yeah, it's crazy. Somebody in the chat said Florida didn't have no culture when y'all were there. Let's be real. Well, by the way, I believe they had a culture when Spurrier was there. I believe they had a culture at Florida for many years before Urban got there. Fucking slapdick.
And don't mistaken some off the field shit with a team culture when it comes to working hard and winning football games. Like,
they don't get it.
The culture was a little fucked up when they went to the club on Saturday. But when you went inside that facility at Florida, those fuckers were working. I mean, grinding hard, and they were committed to winning. Now they might have some questionable characters. They might have shot some AK-47s in the air. They might have fucking stolen a dead girl's credit card and used it for 2 weeks. They might have done that shit when they were outside of the facility. They might not have been good guys, but those motherfuckers could play, and they played hard.
Every good guy that I had play for me was absolutely horrible football players. I'm just throwing that out there. But these people out here that never coached it down in their life don't understand. Hey, guess what? Your best players are absolute shitbird humans, and we got to make sure that we can try to change one of them or save just one of them, Zach. Yeah. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen all the time. So it is what it is. But I don't know. What's your takeaways from Ohio State this weekend?
Well, they don't have a quarterback yet. That's for sure.
Really?
I mean, they got a 2-horse race. Kyle McCord and Devin Brown. Devin Brown had surgery on his finger like on Wednesday, so he didn't play in the spring game. And Kyle McCord looked average as shit. But it's a spring game. I don't put a ton of weight into it. I mean, you watch C.J. Stroud's first spring game, and it was just okay. Like, and honestly, I get more mad when a guy lights up the spring game and everyone's like, this fucker's going to win the Heisman. And you're like, he was going against a walk-on DB. What the fuck are you talking about? So, I mean, I took away from it. Their offensive line's terrible. And Kyle McCord doesn't look like he's an NFL quarterback yet. That's all I really took away.
Where's that kid from?
He's from PA.
So, running backs, O-line, they got the guys that you need, though?
I mean, yeah, their running backs are legit. I mean, they're legit 5 deep. I mean, their best 2 running backs were out all of spring, and they still played really well. Receiver, they're going to be loaded. Tight ends loaded. Offensive line, they're struggling. They need a right tackle in the worst way. They got a left tackle. They got a right tackle playing left tackle, and they got no tackle playing right tackle. So they need a right tackle really bad. The defense looked decent. I mean, the defense still has a ways to go, but they looked – I think they're on pace to be what they need to be.
How's that Polynesian, the DN kid?
Fucking freak show.
Is he a first, 5-pick guy?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
He's legit.
Valley, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. You guys have that. You guys have it blows my mind that you guys come out here, which you should. Pete Carroll used to go everywhere in the country when SC was rolling. Saban did the same thing. Urban did the same thing in Florida. Would come to Cali, come wherever. You guys come to Cali, get the best players out over at UCLA. That just blows my mind. Like, that's where you kind of know the difference in programs, right? If you lose a home backyard kid to a team 2,000 miles away, you're probably not going to be good very long.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt. I mean, it's it's just a difference in level of play, right? I mean, you look at, the the fact that Bryce Young and CJ Stroud were both in LA and then both went to Bama and Ohio State. USC didn't even sniff one of them. And even Caleb Williams.
Clemson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. DJ Uiagalelei went to Clemson. And then you look at who their guy is now. Caleb Williams is from D.C. and only is at USC because he transferred with Lincoln. Like, it's not like he picked USC. He picked Lincoln Riley in Oklahoma. And then when Lincoln went to USC, he rode along. So USC's got – and I think Lincoln's getting it done. It's just going to take some time to turn the tides and momentum in recruiting. But that was always the case. I mean, from Chris Olave's, Wyatt Davis was an All-American guard at Ohio State. I mean, there's a slew of them that USC couldn't even sniff. Yeah,
it's crazy. I showed this video of Kobe Bryant earlier about talking about if you're going to be good when you're good and talk that talk, you got to be able to take it when you lose. He was really talking to LeBron and KD. I know you do betting stuff and all that. Make sure you follow Minister Sports on everything. Who you got winning the NBA title this year? Two whites talking about basketball that played football. I just want Memphis to lose because of all the fake wankster fuckboys on that roster. And I just can't wait for Lakers to beat their ass. And then I want the Lakers to beat the Clippers because everybody thinks the Clippers run LA because they've won 11 games in a row of meaningless games, but yet to beat the Lakers in a meaningful playoff series ever. I just want that, and I don't really give a fuck about the NBA and who wins. But
yeah, I fucking hate the NBA, but I will go with the 76ers just because I love Philly. Philly's my favorite city that I've ever lived in. Fucking tough ass. Oh, bro, assholes. Fucking city full of fucking just assholes. It's awesome. JV, if you lived there outside of the weather, you would fucking love it. Like I went with our D-line coach at Temple to get a cheesesteak for the first time. You know, we're both from Ohio. We go get a cheesesteak, and the D-line coach is 330-pound big motherfucker, right? He orders a cheesesteak. He said, "Can I get a cheesesteak with whatever?" And he said, and mayo. And the guy goes, No. The fuck out of here. I was like, whoa. He was like, "I'm not putting no fucking mayo on no fucking cheesesteak, you fat fuck. You want to put mayo on it? You go to the gas station and buy mayo and add it." And I'm like, this is a fucking, like, the guy taking the order. He owns the business. Customer service my ass. It's the best city in the world. It's the best city in the world.
Hey, I would do nothing but respect that.
Oh, I was sitting there like, then my turn was next, and I'm a little scared now. I'm like, "Hey, bro, I just want a cheesesteak. Make it however you want. Here's my card."
Onions, whatever. Fuck it.
I don't give a fuck.
Put it on there.
Just don't yell at me.
No doubt. Hey, top 10 athletes of all time. Did you see this fucking list made by the AI group of fucking shitbirds? No. Have you ever seen a fucking list like this? I don't know if I've ever seen one. First of all, I don't know this. I'm going to discuss this all day long, but top 10 athletes. If you say athlete, Zach, to me, it's a different breed of cat. It's not just one hitter quitter. It's got to be a guy that's done multiple things, in my opinion. Well, Michael Jordan was fucking horrible in basketball. I mean, in baseball.
Yeah. So I mean, the fact that you don't have Bo Jackson or Dion on that list is fucking nuts. We're talking about an athlete. You have a fat fucking beer drinking, cigarette smoking power hitter. Like, he's not an athlete. He was a good hitter.
Babe Ruth was a fucking horrible athlete.
I mean, horrible. Like, but you take Deion Sanders, any sport you want to play, he'll be at least decent. At least decent.
Bo Jackson, I mean, could argue was better at baseball, was a legitimate football player, but better than Deion at baseball numbers-wise, but he was cut short. Obviously, we know what Bo would have been in the NFL if he would have stayed healthy. But let me ask you this. You got Usain Bolt on there who basically just ran straight.
Right. Can he change direction?
Carl Lewis is one, like, holds records in multiple things. Yeah. I don't know why Carl Lewis wouldn't be on there.
Yeah, I mean, that should have just said, like, most accomplished athlete in their sport. That's what it was, right? Like, that's not the best athletes. No. The best athletes don't even, I mean, we just discussed it. No. Babe Ruth, come on.
Yeah, old ass smoking cigarette. That motherfucker didn't know. He couldn't even run to first base. And then you got fucking Michael Phelps, who, I get it, won the most Olympics, but he's a PED guy too. And so where's Lance Armstrong at? That motherfucker should be something.
Right, but you know damn well Michael Phelps can't play basketball and Lance Armstrong can't hit a baseball. So stop it with the best athletes. Like, most accomplished swimmer, absolutely. Like, most accomplished bike rider, sure. But best athletes, come on.
And I know Jim Thorpe's from the fucking 1700s, but goddamn, he did everything, I think, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And where's Jesse Owens?
Yeah, Jesse Owens is another one.
I don't know. It's pretty interesting. What do you guys got today on the docket?
We're going to talk about a bunch about the kind of the Midwest spring games, Penn State, Ohio State, all the shit that people thought they found out this weekend. I'm just going to remind them you didn't find out shit. You just watched a fucking scripted practice.
And you got to see Michigan State warm up. Let me ask you, before you get out of here, the most traditional or best tradition in college football. I had this argument with Mike Farrell over the weekend. Let me ask you. I said the whiteout. Am I wrong? He said Virginia Tech Sandman. Enter the Sandman. No. Some people said Clemson. Some people said Ohio State. Some people said the Big House. Some people said Iowa with the Children's Hospital thing they do.
So the Kinnick Wave is by far like the most emotional and coolest.
Inspirational, right?
I mean, like I'm on the sideline and I literally like choked up and have a tear rolling down my face because you're sitting here like, fuck me, man. We're just playing this game. And then everyone turns and waves to these poor kids that have a fucking like terminal illness. Kids, man, little kids, like nothing cooler. I don't care what anybody says. Now, that's just because of the depth of it, right? That's why it's so cool. But probably the wildest one that I've ever seen is when Alabama sings Sweet Home Alabama. When that whole fucking stadium, I'm talking about, they can't talk, they can't walk, they can't read, they can't write, but those motherfuckers can sing together in unison Sweet Home Alabama. And it is fucking cool. Really cool. But I think the whiteout's probably won outside of the Iowa. The Iowa one's not fair, right? You're waving to kids with cancer. That fucking wins automatically. You can't even compete. That's like people say, what's the coolest rivalry in college football? It's like, well, I mean, it's Army Navy because what the fuck? Like these are dudes that are about to go to war. Like that's why it's the best.
Fuck. I'm still tripping. You're right. A bunch of fucking illiterate singing together. They can't read, write, or spell. A bunch of fucking Kendrick Perkinses at the fucking Alabama game singing "Sweet Home Alabama." Has to be. You're persuading me.
Roll Tide roll, and you're on the sideline like, fuck me, this is badass.
By the way, people don't realize when you recruit, Zach, please tell them as you leave here today, we go through the states and the cities and we're like, fuck, if I'm a JUCO guy, I've broken it down to a science. Okay, I got to go to Alabama, the worst education in the union right there with Mississippi. I can get a lot of kids out of Bama who has a lot of talent nobody knows about because they're not going to qualify academically. So let me go into there. I'm going to go into D.C., same situation. I'm going to go into some shitholes in Arkansas, and I'm going to recruit the entire state of Mississippi, right? And they're all fucking a bunch of either just non-qualifiers. Let's say that. Yeah. It blows my mind that you, on your side of the spectrum in Ohio State or Florida, you're staying away from some of those places because they don't qualify.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially in a place like Ohio State, the fuck am I going to Mississippi for? They either don't have grades or they are going to Ole Miss or Mississippi State. Like, they ain't leaving. Like, their mama won't have a job. Like, so it's just no point. But I bet you ain't go to Ohio that many times looking for kids that don't qualify.
No, because Ohio, California is, probably the best education for the most part. They're going to qualify, but the ones that don't, there's a fucking 50 million people you got to decipher through. So like, it's hard, but you don't go to Ohio. You don't really go to too much. Like, it's hard. There's there's under recruited areas too. Like, we talked about before, but it's tough. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, Minister Sports on YouTube. Make sure you go over there live this morning. We're on this Menace Monday, cousin Zach Smith. So shout out to you and Minister Sports. Appreciate you coming on, man. Keep killing it. I hope to see Herman's face right behind you, though.
We'll adjust the angle. We'll get it done.
All right, man. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
Later.
See you.
Zach Smith, clap it up. Head on over to Minister Sports. Check him out. Does a great job on that show. He's going to break down some spring football today. Man, lots to discuss here. We got a lot going on.